Dr. Kia preach, shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Through her channel, knowledge flows, breaking chains that hold us close, teaching paths to abundance and wealth, guiding others to free themselves. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day.
Hello, Soul Tribe. Welcome. Come into the room. I'm so happy to see everybody. Hello, everybody. Greetings. Good evening. As they would say, grand rising, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending upon where you're hailing from. Let us know where you're hailing from, family. And we'll just do a brief chat today about what's going on in the news, what's going on all around us, because I really don't think a lot of people are aware that we're still in the midst of a government shutdown. It's a partial shutdown, but we are in the midst of a government shutdown, and it's affecting our economics. It's affecting us in so many areas, and I don't think people realize that. Hey. I see Des Moines, Iowa in the house. Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell our moderator that I was on. She told me to remind her. And I forgot to tell her. Okay, I just told her. So what did you say? Greetings, Dr. Kia from Jacksonville. Hello, Duval. Okay. Stay online and we'll get you that information. I see H-Town in the house, Tampa, Florida. Hello, Michael. It's good to see you. Peace, Mott. It's great to see you as well. Peace Springs. Thank you for joining us. Feathers up. I know that's right. Original Turtle Island. Nat, is that Natalie's in the house? E from Bay. Always good to see you. Our Morris brother, Brother Robert's in the house. All right. Ooh, Detroit's in the house. Hi, Eric. Hi, Sherman from Big O, Omaha, Nebraska. So I said I try not to stay on, and y'all know that I be saying that all the time. I see Michigan's in the house. Hi, Sister Lisa. Hello, everybody. Another Tampa family member. So I thought it was important to come on to talk about what's going on and how it's affecting us because I have a family member that was supposed to be traveling, and she called me and said our flight was canceled. And I knew that there were flights that were being canceled that were going abroad to the Middle East because of the Iranian American war or conflict. But what I did not realize was that there were other reasons that so many planes have been grounded, so many flights have been canceled. And not only have the flights been canceled, but a lot of people who were at the airports were in these long lines. Even the ones that made it out of their destination were in long lines. And the reason for that is because a lot of TSA workers were not getting paid. They are not getting paid in the middle of a government shutdown. So we are aware that we had a government shutdown on September the 30th of last year, 2025, at midnight, which was actually October 1st, and that was the beginning of the new fiscal year. We knew about that government shutdown. We knew that President Trump had met with the National Guard and really military leaders from all over the world. But before he sent them out and launched them out right before the government shutdown, the first thing he said as he was addressing the military is, "It looks like central casting to me." So I took note of that because I knew that when he often talks about fake media, fake news, as well as central casting, and we know that a lot of things they do is really something that's been staged. At least that's what it looks like to us. And we're going to talk about that a little later. I'm not saying everything that occurs has been staged, but he did say it looks like central casting to me. Some of these operations that we see happening, some are real, but some are in fact a cover up for covert operations. And I'm going to show you some videos that seem to confirm what I'm saying. But first, let's talk about how he sent the National Guards to major cities. Why did President Trump send National Guards to major cities right before the government shut down between September and October, September 30th or October 1st? Well, the news outlet said that he was sending National Guard out to clean up the cities, the major cities, not only from some of the terroristic activities that were going on by immigrants that were unlawfully here, trafficking people, trafficking drugs, doing some money laundering. And some of them were also gang members that were inciting violence against American citizens. And, you know, the media was pretty open about that on some outlets. But additionally, President Trump sent the National Guard into these major cities to clean it up, to clean up these major cities from some of the things that was occurring domestically, because we have a lot of gangs and violence domestically by United States citizens or American sovereigns, American nationals, however you want to see it. So he was cleaning up crime, foreign and domestic, in these major cities. But if you listen to some of the other, probably less popular media and independent journalists, they would say that President Trump actually was sending National Guard out to make arrests and to prepare for the release of the Epstein files. So that's what some of the independent journalists were saying. Well, We did have the government shutdown. We had over 300,000 people to lose their jobs during that time period, right around Halloween or leading into Halloween. But that shutdown only lasted up till, what was it? It lasted, I want to say it reopened. It lasted up until maybe November sometime, maybe late November. Somebody help me with that. Because we do know it was reopened by the time Thanksgiving came about, and Thanksgiving in 2025. And we thought, well, that makes sense because we need to get government spending movement. We need people to spend money. We need the economy to be stimulated between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it reopened around Thanksgiving and Christmas time, but then it shut down again in January. We had a partial government shutdown. So whereas before in 2025, mainstream media talked about the government shutdown almost nonstop. Now you don't hear them talking about the government shutdown, how we're still under a government shutdown. It might be partial, but it's still a shutdown. And it's still affecting us in all areas of our lives. You can see it if you try to travel. So I looked into this because, like I said, I had a family member to call me and say her flight was canceled. Then I looked it up and I saw many, many flights were canceled all across the globe, really. But here in America, many flights were canceled. In fact, last month in February, more than 10,000 Federal Aviation Administration workers were furloughed, sent home, or furloughed. If they either sent home or you can work without pay, 10,000, more than 10,000 in February. Here we are in March. So I said, well, that's the air. Let me look and see if it's affected in land, air, and water. If the government shutdown is affecting us land and water, air and water, because if you recall, when we had Sheik Bey on, remember Sheik Bey? Hello. YouTube removed your comment. You know the RV is about to happen. Yes, I agree. YouTube's been doing a lot of wonky things, I've noticed. But Sheik Jacob Bey told us that law represents land, air, and water. So I said, okay, the government shutdown must be affecting all areas of our activity because land, air, and water is significant as it relates to what's happening right now. Because we see the dismantling of maritime law or admiralty law or the deep state, Illuminati, the New World Order, the fake full government, the United States Incorporated. So we're doing away with the law of the water and we're going back to the law of the land. So law, the whole paradigm of law, the whole system surrounding maritime law and admiralty law is in question right now because it's being dismantled. And all of that, people were able to see that is being dismantled in 2025. And some of us had to help people to see that. The reason why we even had the government shutdown is because we don't have enough money. The United States government doesn't have enough money. The United States government is defunct. It is in debt. They've reached the debt ceiling. Remember, Janet Yellen said this, we've reached the debt ceiling. This is an emergency. We got to take extraordinary measures to make ourselves whole. And the way we're going to have to do that as the United States government is to take money or retirement money from our federal workers. She said that a few years ago. So we've reached the debt ceiling. They're reporting it's like 35, 38, 30 something trillions of dollars in debt. But some people say it's surpassed. It's way above that or beyond that. But when you reach the debt ceiling, you can't pay your bills. That affects Social Security. That affects government benefits, entitlement benefits. That affects the veterans. It affects so many areas of life when the government, United States government, has reached the debt ceiling. Well, let me go back just a little bit. What led up to the government shutdown was at the end of the summer of 2024, the Supreme Court of the United States overturned the Chevron doctrine. Remember that? The Chevron doctrine gave the United States government unlimited powers. It said they could create whatever statutes, codes, policies they wanted to because they were the experts. Well, the Supreme Court of the United States said we're overturning that in July of 2024. And they went a step further and said the United States Incorporated, or the United States government that had incorporated themselves in 1871, was unlawful, illegal, unconstitutional, and treasonous. They went furthermore, said that all judges that went along with the federal government doing whatever they were allowed to do and teamed up with them or were in cahoots with them, they also committed treason, just like the United States government and all 444 government agencies. And any judge that went along with the other judges, or knew what these judges were doing, they committed misprision of treason. So you got 444 government agencies committed treason. Judges that were in agreement with them committed treason. And any judge that knew of a judge that allowed this to happen and didn't report it to the president committed misprision of treason. That was the summer of 2024. That led up to President Trump coming back in 2025, issuing out executive orders as soon as he came in 2025. And one of them was creating the Department of Government Efficiency with Elon Musk as the helm of the Department of Government Efficiency. And when he did that, he told Elon Musk to look over all of the government agencies, figure out where the spending was going, figure out how people were allocating the funds, and if in fact they were doing their jobs. That's when they discovered that U.S. aid that was going over to these foreign countries was not really reaching the people. Some of it was reaching the people in power and lining their pockets. And then there was some money that actually went to promote or push for agendas into the people that were against their culture, like homosexuality, transgenderism, and also forced them to take immunizations. That's what they were using the U.S. aid for. So Elon Musk said, he reported to Trump and he said that, this money isn't being used for what it was earmarked for. It was supposed to be earmarked to help educate them, to help them if they had any type of natural disasters, to help them get food, shelter, all those type of things. But the money wasn't going to the people. It was going to the people in power, the leadership in some of these countries. And a lot of it stayed right here in the pockets of the American politicians. That's what was discovered in 2025. That was around from January all the way up through the summer. Then President Trump called for the military all over the world, met with them, and he said, this looks like central casting to me. And then he gave them orders and sent them out in 2025 to the major cities. They start making arrests. They start even arresting judges. You can find a few reports online where they arrested judges. And then we had the government shutdown where 300,000 people were let go. But President Trump gave them an out. He said, you can take early retirement. You can take an early buyout. And it's a win-win situation because why? The government does not have the money to pay all the people that were hired. The government doesn't have the money to even pay the entitlement programs that we have, like all of the programs, Section 8, TANF, temporary aid to needy families, EBT or food stamps. They don't even have enough money to fund the military. We're talking about the United States Incorporated. So they're being dismantled because of the Supreme Court of the United States overturning the Chevron doctrine. So they closed down the government, but they again reopened it Thanksgiving and Christmas to stimulate the economy. But it's closed right now and it's not being discussed about how it is closed. The government is still or government workers are still being affected. As I reported, when you look at the air, let's look at the air. And I'll show you briefly. Yes, we did. We paid out so much money to people who weren't even handling things lawfully. I agree. So here's what's going on in the air. See, what to know about the partial government shutdown. This was published in February. Thousands of Federal Aviation Administration workers have been furloughed and nearly 14,000 air traffic controllers. So it's not just TSA workers, it's just thousands. 14,000 air traffic controllers were working without pay as the partial government shutdown drags on. So let me see where it says, I want to see where it said 10,000 people were let go. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. I got to make this bigger for you. Right underneath the title, What to Know About the Partial Government Shutdown Now in its third day, because this was published in February, more than 10,000 Federal Aviation Administration workers are furloughed. The shutdown sparked by an impasse over funding for immigration enforcement amid a pair of fatal shootings by federal law enforcement in Minneapolis comes just months after the longest shutdown in U.S. history. So we had the longest shutdown in U.S. history in 2025. It reopened in January, and then it shut back down, partial shutdown. More than 14,000 air traffic controllers were furloughed. And so when you are told to report to work without money, some people are going to say, I'm just not going to show up. People. Let me turn it down. In fact, there's an article that said that 300 people, it was published today, 300 workers just walked out of the airports. Let me see if I can find that article for you. I have so many articles here. Okay, TSA workers quit. This was just published today. Let me see. We shouldn't be having the stage war either. That's a money suck. Yes, it is. Come on, talk about that stage war. Here it is. 300 TSA agents quit their jobs amid a partial government shutdown. So this might not be the best time to fly, family. You know what it looks like to me? It looks like to me they're trying to strongly encourage us to stay home. So you have the war going on, right? So if you're flying to the Middle East, it might not be a good idea with, airstrikes and whoever knows what else is going on during the war. But people aren't showing up to work. As the partial government shutdown continues, hundreds of agents with the Transportation Security Administration have quit their jobs. They announced yesterday on Sunday that 300 TSA workers have quit, and the number of TSA agent call-outs have doubled from what they were before the shutdown. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy announced that agents have already missed a partial payment and a full payment, adding the employers or employees are those who don't make a lot of money. So you have people who are TSA agents who already don't make a lot of money. So if they're not getting paid, they're going to walk off their jobs and they're probably going to look for a job that is paying. You're welcome. So I'm not going to tell anybody what to do, but I would encourage you, if you're going to fly, be vigilant, be proactive, call ahead, see what's going on, and just know that you might get stuck because people are also getting stuck at airports. It seems to me like they're really trying to keep people home. They're keeping flights grounded for a reason, is what I'm saying. Not only do they not have enough money to pay the people, but if you remember that we're under a military operation and how arrests are occurring, there could be covert arrests happening right now. I'm saying could be because, you want to say allegedly, but I can assure you that with the release of the Epstein files and all of the information coming out about how many people were involved in trafficking and the information spreading across social media very, very rapidly, it makes sense that people are in fact being arrested. Tell me what you think in the comment section. And we're going to talk about the war too, because I'm not so sure if what they're telling us about the war is the full truth, but you let me know what you think. So that was the air, that airports are full, flights are being canceled. You can even look it up. You can look it up and see, let's see, flights canceled during a partial government shutdown. I'll look it up. We'll see how many, because I did report that on my post, on my community section on my YouTube channel, but I'm going to see if I can pull up an article update. Yes, many updates. Oh my gosh. So you have a war, you have airport workers that are furloughed or just quitting, and now you have storms as well. The storm is upon us. How convenient is that? That you have those three things. Things happen in threes, right? Is that a coincidence? Here's an article that says storms cancel more U.S. flights as TSA remains under pressure from partial government shutdown. I don't think this is a good idea to fly unless you have to, unless you're okay with waiting for them to re-traffic or reroute planes, and you might get stuck in a particular city or country. And speaking of being stuck in a country, have you noticed that Dubai is basically empty, that a lot of businesses are leaving there? Do you think that's really about the war and strikes occurring in the Middle East? Or do you think that's a cover up for how a lot of billionaires, it was their safe haven, their playhouse. It was their playground. Dubai was the billionaires' playground, the rich folks' playground. Over there in the sand, all those sandstorms, and everybody's bragging about going to Dubai that was built on the middle of a desert. It's virtually empty now, empty. Why are those businesses leaving there? Well, the Epstein files came out. It's being discovered and released about how people were laundering their money there, hiding their money, hiding their activities, doing lascivious things. That's not even a conspiracy. We know how they get down. When I say they, I'm not trying to say them people or nothing. I'm not trying to even sound racist. People know. Look at you look at the YouTube videos and you look at Instagram, the Instagram models, how they were bragging about flying over to Dubai because they were models and they were thinking they were going to get a whole lot of money. Oh, they got a whole lot of money, but what's $10,000 when you have somebody doing the things that those men were over there doing to those women, urinating on them, defecating on them, running trains on them, having them doing all type of lascivious things to them and their buddies. They're talking about millionaires and billionaires. And these young women thinking they had a come up, but then they started crying on the social media. Now, if it's a lie, I mean, it came from their mouths. They were on YouTube, Instagram, talking about how some of them went over there thinking they were just going to get some fast money and how they actually got ran through, exploited, every orifice, ears, nose, private parts violated. That's because that's the culture of some of these people with money, these very, very sick people that are part of secret societies that do certain things, rituals, or that's their fun. I don't know, but it wasn't just young women. It was children over in Dubai, and they had modern day slavery over there. You can even look it up on YouTube today. They'll talk about modern day slavery and how a lot of Africans, a lot of young people thinking they were going to get a better life, got on these buses and these planes to work in Dubai, thinking they're going to work in some rich person's castle, home, or whatever, and how they're living in shacks and living in very unfavorable conditions and aren't getting paid and being trafficked. But who are they going to tell? They can't tell anybody because they can't get back home, and they only get enough just to survive. See, there was a gentleman from a Caucasian gentleman. I don't know if he was from Canada or Europe, but he went there and he actually stayed in some of those quarters with the Africans. And he actually reported that he had to run and get out of there because he's like, if they catch me, I'm in trouble. Modern day slavery going on. That's why that area is being cleaned out. So I'm saying a lot of what we see is a covert operation for cleaning out these areas that were doing things to men, women, and children. A lot of it against their wishes or because they thought they were going to have a better life or have a come up. And trafficking was occurring right here in America, where a lot of people were coming from different countries thinking that they were coming to the Americas to enjoy American culture and the American dream. And then when they got here, they were trafficked. I've seen restaurants with newspaper articles on the door when I lived in Louisville, Kentucky. This Asian restaurant is shut down. This restaurant is shut down due to human trafficking. There was a bank, a PNC bank, and the whole complex in Louisville, Kentucky, shut down due to money laundering from the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, and the Ukrainian mafia. My hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, downtown Cleveland, Ohio, is owned by the Ukrainian mafia. You can Google it today. Who owns downtown Cleveland? Ukrainian mafia, Ukrainian cartel. So when Putin went down to Ukraine and declared war against them, and they sent all the Ukrainians here, I'm like, why? Because they got I don't know if they were really being affected. I don't know what, but I was like, so they came over here and they got jobs in banks. They got jobs, the cushy jobs, some of them, white collar jobs. It's a little interesting. Some of them may have gotten other jobs. I'm just saying I saw, because I would ask them, what do you do? Where are you from? But the Ukrainian mafia and drug cartel owns a lot of land here in the Americas. But my point is, when you look at the Middle Eastern region, they call them sand folks, sand Negroes is what some people call them. That's a bad thing. I heard some of the Moors call them that. They were trafficking in Dubai, and it's being cleaned out. So I'm just putting on my analytical eyes, and I'm telling you what I see. But you can look it up and you can see reports that businesses are leaving, and they're leaving quickly. Do you hear me? Some people that were still there were reporting like, I don't know. They were saying, I don't know what's going on, but these businesses are closing so quickly and these billionaires are flying up out of here so fast, it's hard to get a flight out. It looks like there's a covert operation that's occurring right now. So we covered the air. Now let's talk about the water. What's going on in San Francisco? Well, there was a report that came out that says some of the people who monitored ships in the San Francisco Bay Area said that they were being impacted by the partial government shutdown. They said homeland security is being impacted. Let me pull up this article. Because they're saying that vessel traffic service workers are going without pay on the waters, and that's vital to the safety of our waters. Let me see if I can. Where is that? Please let me. Okay, I forgot to put that. I forgot to put that link to the article there, but I'm going to just look it up. Wow. Here's another breaking local news. First alert and weather. Maritime safety concerns grow on San Francisco Bay as paychecks stopped during the government shutdown. That was published March 13th. Okay, let me show you this other one though. The first one I want you to see. Here's the water being affected. Watch the water. Remember they used to tell us that. The unseen strain on Bay Area's vessel traffic service workers amid a partial government shutdown. That was published today, March 16th. Let me go back. Some of the people who monitor the ships in the San Francisco Bay Area are being impacted by a partial government shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security. These vessels going without pay are vital to the safety on the water. Partial government shutdown is having a much wider impact than just long lines and frustrated flyers at the airports. You're not seeing big lines waiting in the port, and you're not seeing backups because the folks at the VTS, Vessel Traffic Services, are going to work, but they're not. If you've ever driven towards the Bay Area Bridge, let me see. Hold on, let me go back. Who is this? So Scott Humphreys, who is Scott Humphreys? The person reporting, he spent 30 years as a civilian worker or operator of the United States Coastal Guard. He said the VTS or Vessel Traffic Service operators, just like air traffic controllers, they're just like air traffic controllers, but they're doing a very similar job on the water. Unlike air traffic controllers, you might not have noticed them as clearly. If you've ever driven towards the Bay Area Bridge or the Bay Bridge, look up. Just above the tunnel, that's the Vessel Traffic Service, Humphrey said. This gentleman is a retired person, but he still chairs the Harbor Safety Committee for the San Francisco Bay region. So that's California, but it's indicative. If it's affecting Homeland Security in California, that means it's affecting Homeland Security, period. The water. If people continue to go without pay, they're not going to be as effective when they work. And some of them are just going to walk out and quit because they're not getting paid and they don't know when they're going to get paid. Let's see. Okay, I have another article up here, more water and air impacts. So I Googled, how is the partial government shutdown affecting water safety and travel? And I asked for an update. Grand Rising is happening all over the country. Wow. Okay. Thank you for about 493 people being in the chat. Please hit the like button on your way in, family. Okay, these are the results for how is the partial government shutdown affecting water safety and travel. Updates as of March 2026. As of mid-March 2026, the partial government shutdown is causing significant travel disruptions during spring break, with TSA workers facing unpaid work, leading to high callouts and long security lines at major airports. While essential water monitoring continues, in some respects it is, right? Reduced EPA staffing has paused some inspections and enforcement activities impacting water system safety monitoring. I don't even know if it's safe to travel by water. I probably wouldn't go on a cruise right now. So you have security delays. TSA screeners at major airports are working without pay, causing staff shortages and long lines at hubs like Houston, Atlanta, and Charlotte. You have flight disruptions where thousands of flights have been delayed or canceled. And in terms of airport activity, high spring break travel volumes combined with staffing shortages are creating significant airport headaches. Like, this is spring break. This week is spring break for the young people, the children here in Florida. I think it's the same in we have friends and family in Texas too. So this whole time between March and April, go through, and maybe even up to May, I would say about March and April is called spring break. So you have a lot of young people traveling. You have a lot of people, teachers that are off work that are traveling. You have a lot of families traveling because their children aren't in school. Well, with all these staffing issues, staffing shortages, people walking off the job, people being disgruntled workers because they're not being paid, long lines, they're saying it's causing airport headaches. Then you have safety issues. While essential screening continues, the United States Department of State may have reduced capacity, impacting passport processing. So if you're trying to fly out the country or into the country, but you need a passport, the processing is going to be delayed due to a partial government shutdown. Why? Because when the government is shut down, what they're saying is we don't have money. We don't have a budget. We can't afford to pay all these people. If you look at the big scale, you can see that the government is collapsing. Without money, you can't pay the workers. But it's not a lawful government anyway. The Republic is our lawful government. The Republic is still standing. But the United States Incorporated, we say it all the time, a group of bloodline families that usurped authority from our Republic, colonized all the people, registered themselves as a nonprofit religious organization in the state of Delaware in 1871 with the Pope as the head, have been running amok and created 444 government agencies unlawfully because they're not a part of our Constitution, and they don't abide by the Constitution for our Republic. Neither are they part of the Republic. They're part of the United States Incorporated, all those 444 government agencies, and they have their own constitution called the Constitution of the United States Incorporated. And they govern United States citizens. They govern citizens, people who have birthright citizenship, people who immigrated here. They govern all of them. So they must be dismantled so that we can reestablish our republic and reestablish our sovereignty, our freedom, and prosperity. Hallelujah. Water safety impact. So what was that? We talked about the air. Now let's go to the water. The EPA inspections halted. So the shutdown stopped or delayed regular inspections and permitting by the EPA for water and waterfalls facility. Interesting that the EPA inspections are halted because the EPA is a part of the United States Incorporated. That's one of the 444 government agencies. When the Chevron doctrine was overturned by the Supreme Court of the United States in the summer of 2024, and they said all these government agencies were unlawful, illegal, unconstitutional, and treasonous, that was the sign to go and take down the United States, or so-called fake government, the United States Incorporated, all 444 government agencies. So of course the EPA inspections are going to be put to a halt. But they're not going to tell you they're going to be put to a halt because the EPA must cease to exist. It's not part of our lawful republic. If there's anything that the EPA is doing that's for the benefit of we the people, those duties will be transferred over to our lawful republic. But the EPA, as it stands, of course, their inspections are halted because that's one of the 444 government agencies that had to be critiqued, downsized, and or dismantled. Monitoring risks. The lack of federal oversight for drinking water and pollution control can increase potential risk to public water supply. So our public water is not safe. We already knew they had pollutants in it, but there's no federal oversight if there's no federal workers and there's no money to pay them. Looks like we need to be being very, very mindful. Very cutesy, very mindful. They're very demure, as the young people would say. We need to be very, very mindful about doing whatever we can to clean our water or get an alternative water supply. We got to do something. Emergency work continued. Essential emergency response and lab maintenance at the EPA remain active, but broad environmental enforcement is paused. We already talked about the vessel traffic service. Those operators are operating with staff that's working without pay and staff that's working with limited staff workers, because people that work without pay, some of them are going to call off. Some are going to work haphazardly, lackadaisically. Some of them, they're just not going to really care too much because they're not getting money. So The operators are operating with staff working without pay, maintaining safety monitoring of waterways for passenger ferries and shipping traffic despite the strain. So they're working despite the strain, but they're working under very harsh conditions. Then you'll see here, storms are canceling more flights. You see how the government shutdown is impacting air travel, how it's impacting spring break. DHS funding shutdown impacts travel. See, DHS, Department of Homeland Security funding showdown is affecting travel. It's affecting TSA lines, and they got all these updates here. 5 days ago, the United States Chamber called on Congress to end a partial shutdown. But where the money gonna come from? If they're having an issue with the budget, where's the money gonna come from? You gonna print more money? Is that what they're gonna do? Well, we heard the printing presses were shut down. I don't know if it's true or not, but even if you do print more money, so what's that doing? Gonna cause higher inflation? You gonna price the people out of living? Good thing behind the scenes, we have gold. It's a good thing. Behind the scenes, 45 states here in America repealed the state sales taxes from the sales of precious metals. Because by repealing the sales taxes from the sales of precious metals, you're acknowledging silver and gold as money as you prepare for the gold standard. So they're dismantling one system in order to resurrect another. If you look at an article by the Sound Money Defense League, and I know I've been saying this for many years, but it's just good to reiterate this. Thank you, the Adept Moore. It's good to see you, King. State laws can help restore gold and silver as money. And this article tells you right here that a growing number of American states that were reckless creating fiat currency. He said the growing number of Americans understand that the reckless creation of fiat currency by the Federal Reserve System is causing many of our economic problems. But state laws can help restore gold and silver as money. As you read through the article, it will tell you all the states that have removed or repealed the state taxes from the sales of precious money, from the sales of precious metals. You can click on your state here and see which bills were passed in order to remove the state sales taxes from precious metals. Because remember, according to our Constitution, you cannot tax money. And the only thing that can be used to pay off debt in America is silver and gold. And the only thing that can be used as money is silver and gold. So that's a good thing that that's happening. But thank you. The federal government, United States Incorporated, can't keep printing money. It's not backed by anything. It's going to cause high inflation, and it's just going to cause problems. And then who's going to use the dollar other than Americans? Because all these other countries have agreed not to trade with the dollar. They're using their own local currencies. We reported on that a lot extensively. Many of them have joined the BRICS coalition: Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, through the agreements that we heard of in 2017 called Project Sandman or Operation Sandman. But even if people don't know about those agreements, we do know that BRICS was formed in order to offer trade agreements between those people that are part of the union and to work together to stop trading with the United States dollar. But the United States Incorporated, the Federal Reserve Central Banking System, cannot keep printing money. In fact, the Federal Reserve Central Banking System doesn't have, it is defunct. And it's losing a lot of its power. You had Representative Thomas Massey from Kentucky that pushed forward bills called the End the Fed Act. And he keeps doing it every year. At the same time, you have state-sponsored banks standing independently from the Federal Reserve central banking system. How are they able to stand on their own? State-sponsored banks, state banks. How are they able to declare their sovereignty and disband from the Federal Reserve central banking system? I'll tell you how. I'm glad you asked. The same year the Supreme Court of the United States overturned the Chevron doctrine, limiting the powers of the federal government and saying that they have 444 government agencies that were unlawful and illegal and treasonous. That same summer, 2024, the Supreme Court of the United States ruled that state-sponsored banks can disband from the Federal Reserve central banking system. They can have their own charter and issue out their own gold-backed currencies. So that's happening right now. This is why we're hearing about gold aurum notes, or what is in the gold backs. Because, you know, if you talk about silver and gold, you talk about it for so long, people think, you know, you're crazy. They think you don't know what you're talking about. But you can now go to online dealers. You can go to your local coin shop. You can go to goldbacks.com. You can go to apmex.com. You can go moneymetals.com, greatamericancoincompany.com, jmbullion.com, sdbullion.com. Come on, Pruitt, speak in here. And you will see gold backs, 24 karat gold pressed onto a note that you can use today with local merchants to purchase local goods and services. Go to goldback.com and read it. Look through it. If you put your zip code in there, they will tell you which merchants in your states accept gold backs, 24 karat gold aurum notes to buy local goods and services. We are preparing for a gold standard. We are disbanding from the Federal Reserve central banking system. We are disconnecting from the United States Incorporated. The government and the federal central banking system. So this whole rhetoric about a storm, you got storms, and they really are doing something with the weather. There really are storms, but why are we having storms at this time? At the same time that the Epstein files were released, at the same time as the war, at the same time as the government shutdown. It's a cover. There's a covert operation occurring to restore our freedom, to restore our sovereignty, to restore our wealth. And they've done this historically. Stage a war, do something huge. They call it a black swan event right before they crash the system, and then resurrect a new system. So they're crashing this old system based on the fiat dollar and United States Incorporated, because the bloodline families that enslaved the planet, we don't like the terminology bloodline families or that phrase, the entities, the people, whomever is controlling the planet, whomever has the puppet strings, they're being dismantled. Their monetary system is being dismantled. Their trafficking of children is being dismantled. Their Bitcoin, which they used to pay each other as they trafficked the children, it was crashing just a few months ago, all at the same time. So we talked about the water and the air being impacted by the government shutdown, but what about land? Because I'm thinking now, we do know as it refers to the land, that we have National Guard on the land. We know we have arrests occurring on the land. But it doesn't seem like, at least nobody's widely reporting, that the trucking industry is being impacted. But we had a trucker on our show that was in the comment section 2 days ago that said he owns trucks. And he said, no, the trucking industry is being impacted. They're not being told why. But if the water is impacted and the air is impacted, if there's nothing coming through our airspace to deliver goods here, nothing coming through the water vessels that are, or there's a problem or disruption through the supply chain, then the truckers are going to have an issue picking up things from the ports, right? At least it stands to reason that. So that's law, that's land, air, water, law, maritime law, land, air, and water being impacted by this government shutdown. It's always great to see you too. Let me know what you all think in the comment section, family. So I looked it up. I said, okay, is the trucking industry being impacted by the government shutdown, partial government shutdown? The articles seem to suggest that it's not, but the truckers are saying yes, yeah, they are being impacted. I asked, why is the trucking industry struggling? Because they're saying they're not. When fact checked and asked, is the trucking industry being impacted by the partial government shutdown, they were saying no. But I just asked, why is the trucking industry struggling? Because I've heard from truckers that there are problems picking up things from the ports. Well, here is what Google says. It says the trucking industry is struggling due to a prolonged freight recession marked by low rates, overcapacity from a pandemic era hiring boom, and reduced consumer spending on goods. High inflation, elevated fuel costs. You can see the elevated fuel costs when you go to the pump. We can tell with the gas prices being raised that the fuel prices, oil is going up as well. High inflation, elevated fuel costs, rising interest rates, and soaring insurance premiums have all simultaneously squeezed profits, causing many carriers to face bankruptcy. Key factors contributing to the industry's downturn include excessive capacity versus demand. There are too many trucks that were purchased during 2021, 2022. They call that the freight boom. That was right after COVID. This caused consumers shifting spending habits from goods to services. With consumers shifting spending from goods to services, there is not enough freight volume to support the number of available drivers. Wow. And because not only did they have American drivers that were driving trucks, they were hiring some of the immigrants that were here. They were hiring illegal, unlawful immigrants that couldn't even read English and speak English, so they didn't know how to read the signs. So there were a lot of reports that were saying that people were having accidents, a lot of truckers, because they couldn't read the signs. You even had officials, government officials that worked for the DMV or drivers bureaus that were arrested for giving licenses to people who couldn't even read English, giving them commercial license, CDL licenses. So there was a freight boom, though, and they had a lot of people that needed those jobs. So what they did, they moved out a lot of the American workers and moved in the workers that were from other countries. What else? Persistent inflation and rising costs. While demand fell, the cost of doing business skyrocketed. That included higher expenditures for fuel, truck maintenance, insurance, and interest payments on equipment financing. You also have a driver shortage and demographic shift. The industry faced a long-term shortage caused by an aging workforce. Well, maybe an aging American. Was it really an aging workforce? Because there's a lot of young people, but they're saying it was an aging workforce. High turnover, difficulty attracting younger workers. Was it really difficulty attracting younger workers? Because there were a lot of young people that were going to going to school to get their CDL license, but they were being misplaced and replaced by people who would take the job for less, who were from other countries that were here unlawfully. That's my commentary. It doesn't say it here. Declining spot market rates. Small carriers and operators dependent on spot market, which has seen dramatic rate drops from peak levels, making it difficult to cover operating costs. Regulatory pressures, shift in freight brokerages. These pressures have caused numerous bankruptcies as carriers, particularly small operators, run out of cash after months of reduced revenues. Bankruptcies, numerous bankruptcies. If you're having bankruptcies in the trucking industry, and you're having problems with at the airports, at the water ports, the ports of entry, and most of our goods are coming from outside of America, we need to pay attention because we could be severely impacted. Most of our goods, our products, come from outside of this country. But the ports are having problems. The airport, the water ports, the supply chain, that's impacting the supply chain. What should we do, family? How should we prepare? What should we be doing right now? We had economist Dex Lattimore on the show not long ago, and let me show you just briefly what he said about how our goods are not produced here in America. That's a problem. Let me see if I can get this up here. Hold on. I'll just show a brief part of this. I'll just show some of this. Okay, you can see it. That's Dex Lattimore, global economist here. What should we know about rare earth minerals? Like who's producing them, who has rare earth minerals, whatever you want to talk about as it relates to rare earth minerals.
Well, China's the producer, the main producer of rare earth minerals in the world.
Okay.
So most countries have rare earth minerals, right? America, for example, we have plenty of rare earth minerals, but we don't have the factories to produce the rare earth minerals. So China took on that production cost about 30 years ago, right? Where they were the ones who actually invested in the factories to produce these minerals.
Let me take that back just a bit.
Actually invested in the factories to produce these minerals. Almost no other country has the capability to produce these minerals, to manufacture them. So all the countries of the world have been using China to manufacture these products and then to distribute them respectively to the countries. America, obviously, is in a conundrum because we cannot produce these rare earths. And last year, China, for example, actually restricted the amount of rare earths being sold to America. So now America's been talking about, since Trump has been in office, the fact that we need to be able to produce, right? We don't produce most of the goods that we consume.
Okay.
So we're extremely high consumers. We're the number one consumers of the world, but the rest of the world subsidizes our consumption.
We're the number one consumers of the world, but the rest of the world subsidizes our consumption. They produce our goods, our consumption. They take care of us, and we don't have factories, or we haven't had factories here in America. They left and went abroad. Many of them went to China.
The rest of the world produces and overproduces in order for us to be able to consume the products that we have. Now, all of these countries have been turning away from the US and been looking at being more concerned about themselves as a nation. America is at the point where we have to become producers because the rest of the world is no longer interested in subsidizing our consumption.
We're going to have to do what some of the people in the comment section said. We're going to have to get some seeds. We're going to have to start growing our own food, but we also need factories because the rest of the world has been even feeding us. We make the United States Incorporated, the government made enemies with these countries and then allowed them to grow the food for us and feed us. That's ridiculous. Okay. I'm going to let you go on. You talked about us being consumers. What are your thoughts about us being consumers versus producers? I'm going to let you go. I'm going to go off the screen for a minute, take some of my oregano and black seed. But what are your thoughts about us being producers and consumers? And what do we need to do to rectify that?
Well, again, we are 100% consumers and we produce almost nothing that we consume. So clearly you can see a problem with that, right? We don't have a productive, we have a financial market or a financial economy. We don't have a production economy. So the whole system that we have is based on the money printing that we have. Now we're in a point where the money printing does not help us as a society. And we cannot consume the things that we don't produce. When you look at all of your products in your house, for example, you can start with your cell phone, you can look at your television, you can look at the food in your refrigerators. The vast majority of these products come from outside the country. So that creates a huge dependency on every other country involved for us to be able to consume whatever it is that we consume.
So we got to do something, right? I put that link up to Dex Lattimore talking about how we've been depending on the rest of the world to produce our goods. And this is why President Trump said that the factories need to come back home. They left. The factories left. They went to China. They took advantage of cheap labor. They took advantage of not being taxed and tariffed when they were in China, because other administrations here in America did not tax these factories in these countries for doing business, but they were tax us, but we did not. The United States of America Incorporated did not tax those countries. So when President Trump came in, he was like, "No, we gotta do something that's fair. You tax us, we tax you." So during the Trump first administration, during the Trump-China trade wars, a lot of the United States factories that had previously run over to China to take advantage of the cheap labor, they knew Trump was about to tax them over in China, so they ran to Vietnam. Listen, if you are an investor, they ran to Vietnam under Trump's first administration, 2016 to 2020. What happened 2020? The government shutdown. The whole world was suffering, but Vietnam was thriving. The factories that were in China fled to Vietnam. The GDP increased in Vietnam. That meant that Vietnam now had the door wide open for them to initiate new trade agreements. So they had more trade agreements with Southeast Asia and some other nations. So their doors were open for business while the rest of the world was shut down. I'm talking about Vietnam. But now it's time for our factories to come back home. Adette Moore, what are you saying they're currently doing? Come on in, talk to us. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to show you from that. Let me see right quick. Okay, he's saying that countries are no longer supporting our consumption. So we're going to have to create our own new reality. We're going to have to be the ones that create factories. We're going to have to be the ones that create farms, that do the farming, the producing. These places are shutting down. In fact, let me show you what else is shutting down that I saw. Let's talk about banks, because the banking industry is being affected as well. We talked about land, air, water, law changing. We talked about bankruptcies that are occurring. Did you know all at the same time you still have banks closing? The banking system is collapsing. The monetary system is collapsing. The government is collapsing. What else? Corporations are closing. Companies are closing. People are being laid off. The homelessness rate is skyrocketing. It's time for us to get the business, be about our business, to get to working. If you missed my videos I did on the other night about how to survive in this precarious economy or this harsh economy, you should see them. There's a part 1 and part 2. And I talk about how even though the economy is suffering, if we pull together, if families pull together, we can do well, because we can start growing our own food. We can collect seeds. We can pull our money together. Families that spending like thousands of dollars per household, if they pulled their resources together, your one family might have $25,000 to $100,000 within that family if you pulled your resources together. But we just talked briefly, actually it was extensively about how to do that, how to get out of debt, all how you can cancel your debt, how you can write off your debt, how you can not write off, but dispute debt during this time that we're living in. You don't have to stay stuck or continue to struggle during this harsh economy. So here, banks are closing. why it's happening and what you should do. More than 6,000 commercial bank branches across the country have closed in the past 5 years. The impact of branch closures is often greater in low income and rural communities. Some consumers might need to rely on digital banking, ATM networks, and phone support to manage their finances. The reason I brought this up is because I'm just showing you that the old way of doing things is collapsing. The war that's happening, I don't want to say, in my opinion, is a cover, I should say, for the collapse of the system, because they're not going to just come out and say, hey, guess what? We've been unlawfully governing people on this land, and we've made you all chattel property, and we made you all slaves. So our time is up. And what's going to happen is we're going to return to the gold standard. And we're going to make sure everybody's trusts are given back to them, and you have access to all your trust that's attached to your birth certificate bond. And so, we're making all these arrests, by the way. They're not going to say that. And they're not saying it. But if you know where to look, you can find it. You can see the evidence. So all of these areas, land, air, water, being affected, banks are being affected by the government shutdown and or by the war that's going on in Iran or with Iran. But some people are questioning the authenticity of the videos that they've seen of the war. Did y'all know that? Let me see if I can find that for you. But before that, let's talk about the supply chain. Does the partial government affect the food supply chain? Just to show you all that things are getting serious. And as people are saying in the comment section, we need to provide for ourselves. We need to start supporting the local farmers. We need to grow our own food. We need to find some heirloom seeds, some real seeds, natural organic seeds. We need to secure or broker relationships with local merchants in our communities so that we can barter and trade and work out deals with each other. And I talked about that in my 2 videos, how to survive or how to make it in this harsh economy. Okay, here are the results of how is the partial government shutdown affecting food supply chain. A partial government shutdown threatens the United States food supply chain by freezing critical financial assistance to farmers during crucial periods, pausing the USDA loans and disaster payments, and delays food safety inspections. It also disrupts transportation, while they're saying that trucking industry wasn't being affected, slows down imports. We already talked about that. And it threatens to exacerbate food insecurity. It threatens to exacerbate food insecurity by delaying nutrition benefits. The farmer financial services are frozen, market disruptions. It talks about that. How USDA reports on market data are delayed, which cause friction that can lead to lower prices paid to farmers. Transportation and port bottlenecks, reduced staffing at ports and border inspection points can create logistical bottlenecks, and that impacts the import of perishable goods, adding to the cost of last mile delivery. Now, I'm hoping that there is something in the background that's occurring to replace all of this that's happening, or replace all of these, the system that was in place for us receiving goods from abroad. But if they don't have a plan, we have to have a plan. Okay. Food safety inspection. We talked about that. Look, the impact on consumer and safety security. Y'all know what SNAP is? That's the food stamp program. SNAP and nutritional support uncertainty. While the food stamp program known as SNAP benefits may continue temporarily, a prolonged shutdown can cause interruptions and delays in distributing nutrition benefits to millions, as well as threaten the TEFAP and WIC program. That's the Women and Infants Children program. I don't know what the TEFAP is, but the WIC program is for women, pregnant women, and their small infants and the babies in their womb and their children. Reduce food safety overnight. There's a reduction in routine inspection by the FDA, USDA, and that will lead to food or could lead to food safety risks. Long-term food security risk as well, as the disruption in funding and operations can reduce the diversity and availability of food supply. That will lead to higher prices in the long run. Well, it's a good thing. It's a great thing that on the other side, once we actually see the gold standard manifest, and once we actually, some of us that have investments get a good return on those investments, we'll be able to help the economy. But in the meantime, we got to do something. In the meantime, we need to be getting some water. The water supply is being affected. We got to get filters to clean our water. We need to get seeds. I know I keep reiterating myself. We need to start stocking up our cabinets. Speaking of which, just last night, I had a dream, and I told my son when I woke up this morning, I said, I had a dream that there was a power outage. And I said, and I was away from the house where the grandchildren were. The grandchildren were with some of my other children. And I said, when the power went out, I said to myself, oh my God, I meant to get more water. I said, well, at least the grandchildren can make it for some time, but I should have gotten more water. And I told my son, I said, something is going on. For me to have that dream, I need to get more. We can't wait. We don't want to get to a situation where there is a supply chain interruption, or there's a government shutdown that literally shuts down the country. I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but we don't want that to happen. And then people are making a mad rush or dash to the grocery stores to get something. But, the lines are long, or maybe they can only do it for a certain period of time because they're curfew. We don't know what's going to happen. We do know we're at war. Speaking of war, the war in Iran is just indicative of the larger war that's really going on against what they call the deep state, the so-called elite or elites, elites, the Elohim, their bloodline, the fallen angels, the false gods, whatever you want to call them, the Nephilim, these beings that came here on the planet, made it with women and men, and had their children, created more beings to enslave us. They've been running amok. They've been in banking. They've been in the federal government. They've been in research institutions. They've been in the schools. They've been in the colleges. They've been in at the head of companies and CEOs, corporations. As such, they belong to a secret society where they worship Baal and Molech and sacrifice children to those gods, Baal and Molech, right? To the Gov't, which, as you know, they always say, oh, he's the Gov't, he's the greatest of all time. They're really alluding to possibly, allegedly, the Baphomet. All these deities that they worship, they sacrifice children to them. And while they're sacrificing children, sacrificing family members in order to make it as CEOs of banks and corporations and higher up and judging in a court system, they're doing other nefarious things with and alongside Epstein, but he's just one person. There's a whole lot of Epsteins running around here. But now they're being uncovered. Not only were the Epstein files released, but now people are aware. They know. We know. Before it was called conspiracy theories. Now we know. And it wasn't just the elites. It wasn't just the entertainers. It wasn't just the Hollywood folk. It wasn't just the court administrators, which they really don't want to be found out because they've been masquerading as benevolent, while some of them couldn't even be sued in their capacity as judges. Some of them couldn't be sued as they operated as prosecutors and attorneys. Now, all of them don't have an affiliation with the Baphomet and these false gods and sacrificing, but a lot of them do. They belong to lodges. They belong to the Boule. Some of them, they belong to the Skull and Bones. They belong to the Divine Nine and the secret societies and Illuminati. And the bar, the British accredited registry, which means that they work for the British throne and not for we the people. So some of them that did not participate in nefarious activities would get the opportunity to be retrained in constitutional law if they want to continue on. But a lot of attorneys and judges will be arrested, not just told to stand down, but a lot of them were in cahoots with the United States government in enslaving us, accessing our birth certificate bonds, arresting us, putting us in jails and prisons, forcing us to pay fines while they paid themselves out of our birth certificate funds, and then forced us to pay them through court fees and hiring attorneys because they said they considered us dead at sea. They considered us minors and dead at sea. And this is why when you go into a court system, you have to whisper to your attorney because you weren't even considered a full human. You had to whisper. You had to have somebody represent you. The judge would come in there, and he's not even a judge because a judge is constitutional. They support the law of the Constitution, so they're not judges, they're administrators. They come in there with their black robes, performing funeral services for the dead, the people that come into court, and do seances and rituals right in the courtroom. All rise. The dead rise, right? So maybe some of them don't know the extent to some of these rituals that they do, but there are a lot of them that did. There are some of them that even it's been reported that were arrested for hiding out illegal immigrants who had committed crimes. So when ICE have been raiding courthouses. When they are raided, you can look this up, raid a particular courthouse. There was a judge that held the person that was here unlawfully from another country, held him in his judge's chambers. So that judge got arrested. It's just a lot going on. And I don't think we realize that we're still under a partial government shutdown. I don't think that we realize what that means. That means the government doesn't have money. Government cannot afford all the workers. The government cannot afford all the entitlement benefits. And when I say government, I mean United States Incorporated. It's affecting the people that have the benefits. It's affecting the people that had the government jobs. So we as a soul tribe, as families, as communities, and as individuals have to take the responsibility and accountability to take care of ourselves, because it's not the government's job to save or take care of us. It's our job to take care of our families and ourselves. Now, we know that the system they put in place really is an intricate system that enslaved the people and treated us like chattel property. But how long are we going to sit and wait on the government? They got us focused on the war. People not even talking about the Epstein files. We want to see public arrests, right? We want to see military tribunals, which, by the way, you used to be able to see them in 2018 at c-vine.com. I've seen a few of them. But we have to take care of ourselves. Just remember, family, the government doesn't have money. Even what they call money, fiat, United States dollar, is not real money. Gold and silver are money. So prepare yourselves in the best way possible. If you can get silver and gold, get silver and gold. Get it from my affiliate, Miles Franklin. If you can. There are other online dealers, but that just happens to be my affiliate because they have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. They've been in business for nearly 40 years with the 40 years, yeah. With billions of dollars in sales, no customer complaints. You can call Andy Sheckman at Miles Franklin or any of his brokers at 952-929-7006 or send an email to info@milesfranklin.com and let them know that Dr. Kia Pruitt referred you, or you can say, I heard about you from Dr. Kia Pruitt's show. I want to know what you got in inventory. This is how much money I want to spend. What do you recommend? But let them know you heard about their company, Miles Franklin, from Dr. Kia Pruitt, so you can get the best prices in the industry. But you can also go to your local coin dealer. Type in numismatics near me, gold company near me. This is just if you have it in your budget. If gold and silver are not in your budget, you just want to get ahead because you might want to barter with this. Remember, around the pandemic, Venezuela was actually using chips of gold to barter, to buy local goods and services. This was an agreement they made amongst themselves to get haircuts. Look it up. To get haircuts, to buy food, and amongst themselves that they were chipping off gold, because El Dorado was full of gold in different places in Venezuela. Chipping off gold, they were like, this amount represents a couple dollars. We might need to go back to the bartering system. We can do that right now. We don't have to wait for the National Economic Security Reformation Act, or NESARA or JASARA, the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act. We can take care of each other and ourselves now. We can learn how to barter now. We can get gold and silver now. We can get seeds now. You can go to the Meta Center Chicago and get heirloom seeds. Oh, we can go. Let me see if I can find this. So what else is in the news? I'm going to look for, while people aren't talking, while the mainstream media is not talking about the Epstein files anymore, the government shutdown, I don't hear them talking about that anymore, and how these entitlement benefits are being affected, how the ports are being affected. Let me see if I can find this. Yep. But they're talking about the war, the Iranian war. They said Netanyahu was unalive, but people are coming online saying that the picture, they said first they said he was unalive, then they say he showed himself on the screen saying he is alive and not unalive, and they were saying that on the screen it looked like AI because they saw 6 fingers. You saw that? I don't know if y'all saw that one. I've heard of that one. I haven't seen that one. But look at this. While they're talking about the Iranian war, people are questioning whether or not these videos are authentic. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section.
Iranian missiles raining down on Tel Aviv. They're fake. This video is a fabrication, very likely created with AI. Artificial intelligence tools are better than ever. They're widely available, often free, and so social media is a cesspool of fakery right now. There's this fake video supposedly showing a group of US troops captured in Iran, and this fake video supposedly showing an Iranian military facility being blown up, and this fake video supposedly showing people fleeing an Iranian attack on an Israeli airport. Now, in that last one, there are people in suitcases moving in weird ways, a telltale sign of an AI creation, but other fakes of the Iran war are not so easy to spot, and there are dozens of them going around. The trickery isn't all AI either. There's footage of incidents from other countries being presented as being from Iran or Israel, footage of old incidents being shared as new, even clips from war video games being depicted as real clips. So what can the average person do? My top tip is just take an extra second of thinking or reading before you share one of these war videos. Ask yourself, does anything just seem off about it? Out of sync audio and video, oddly shaped objects, material that doesn't match what we know about the war. Ask yourself, has any credible media outlet or subject matter expert confirmed or debunked this clip? What about people in the comments or replies? Have they raised skeptical questions? And AI detection tools. No, they're not perfect, but they can help. Look, this stuff is hard. It has never been easier to get tricked by stuff online, but there are things you can do to protect yourself.
One more
See
time.
these Iranian missiles raining down on Tel Aviv? They're fake. This video is a fabrication, very likely created with AI. Artificial intelligence tools are better than ever. They're widely available, often free, and so social media is a cesspool of fakery right now. There's this fake video supposedly showing a group of US troops captured in Iran, and this fake video supposedly showing an Iranian military facility being blown up, and this fake video supposedly showing people fleeing an Iranian attack on an Israeli airport. Now, in that last one, there are people in suitcases moving in weird ways, a telltale sign of an AI creation, but other fakes of the Iran war are not so easy to spot, and there are dozens of them going around. The trickery isn't all AI either. There's footage of incidents from other countries being presented as being from Iran or Israel, footage of old incidents being shared as new, even clips from war video games being depicted as real clips. So what can the average person do? My top tip is just take an extra second of thinking or reading before you share one of these war videos. Ask yourself, does anything just seem off about it? Out of sync audio and video, oddly shaped objects, material that doesn't match what we know about the war. Ask yourself, has any credible media outlet or subject matter expert confirmed or debunked this clip? What about people in the comments or replies? Have they raised skeptical questions? And AI detection tools. No, they're not perfect, but they can help. Look, this stuff is hard. It has never been easier to get tricked by stuff online, but there are things you can do to protect yourself.
So, they're saying that some of it looks like it could be AI. Some people are saying it looks like they actually took some footage from video games and reported it as activities from the war. So it's just a good idea to fact check what we see online and keep our emotions in check and stay grounded, because we don't know what's real and what's artificially generated. Thank you. Brother Eric says that what you said, they're theaters of war. The noise is firecrackers and fireworks. That's all. Wow. And yes, President Donald Trump has been saying fake news for a long time. I like what somebody said about water. Hold on. Inner World said, very few of us together in the West Coast in general. Hi, Sister Janine, our moderators here. She says AI is doing too much, still fooling the people. What were you saying about water? I think that was you, Mindful. You were saying there's water in the water heaters. You said Iran is kicking butt. Yes, that's the point of the war, to get people to stop talking about the Epstein files. They don't want us talking about everything else. They're too nervous to talk about it. They're shaking in their boots and know where the people are waking up. We want to know what happened to our children. How do you barter when there's no trust with humanity? By creating trust with humanity. Because I have trust in humanity. You change your mindset and you say, we're all one family. And I desire to barter. So I'm going to find the people that align with my principles, my values. So I gave a statement on the other day in my videos. I did 2 videos on how to survive this economy, this harsh economy, where I went to the farmer's market. So see, we can choose to know that you could choose to believe that either humans are inherently bad or humans are inherently good. I know, and it's my reality, that humans are inherently good. I do know that there are some bad people there, but at the core of humanity and my mind and how I am, my constitution is that humanity is good. So I went down to the farmer's market and I was looking for some fresh fruits and vegetables. There was a woman down there who was selling, vegetables. And I was like, I'll take some of this and some of that. But I've established a relationship with her by going there, taking the grandchildren there, speaking to her, being friendly, having side conversations. So when I went down this particular day, just about 3 or 4 days ago, I wanted tomatoes. And she said to me, oh, I'm only going to charge you $2. You can have as many as you want. She had baskets of them. I said, as many as I want. I need to make some sauce. I need to make a stew. I need some salads. And so she said, as many as you desire, because they're ripe. And I know you want them, so go on and get them. But I had established a relationship with her. When you establish relationships with people, you come from a place of love and a place of with high vibrations. I don't want to keep saying that, but a positive mentality, right? Even if you've been hurt in the past, do your best to get over that and know that there are some good people. Go ahead and cleanse your heart, forgive as much as you can, and reestablish relationships with those people that you've been offended by or that you've offended, and or establish new relationships. That's how you can barter. You have to, I would encourage you to change your paradigm and try your best to work on trust. That's hard when you've been offended, you've been mistreated, you've been disrespected. I know it. Do what you can to try to get through that and work through it, because we need each other to survive. So how do you barter when you have no trust in humanity? You can work through the trust by going to counseling. You can pray, you can meditate, you can make up in your mind. Because the moment you make up your mind, the universe conspires to assist you. You can do journaling. You can maybe take some deep breaths. Do whatever you can to work through the trust issues, and then build relationships. And you don't have to just go out there and just start bartering right away. You can just, it might be hard because you might have been hurt. You might say, okay, today I'm going to go out and I'm going to go to a farmer's market. I'm going to go to a merchant and I'm just going to speak today. Hi, how you doing? Then you might go back and you might say, you know what? That person's been nice to me. I'm going to give them a tip. or I'm gonna give them a gift. My grandchildren do it all the time. They'll make things for people. We go to smoothie shops, they make the trinkets and jewelry, or pick a flower, or, go to the gold silver shop, then make something for the woman who always give them something out of the children's treasure box. Give somebody a gift. When you see their face light up and their gratitude that they express, that does something to your heart as the giver. So just baby steps. By the time you make an encounter with them, or just speak to them, the next time you either give them a tip or you give them a gift. The next time you speak a little longer, you do such and such, you just do it little by little by little. And before you know it, you will have established relationships with people in your community. And then you go from there. And because you have a relationship with them, like I've been to places I haven't asked for anything. I went to another farmer, and there was an older gentleman there who was like, oh, she's got these grandbabies. She's such a sweet lady. And I know you like cabbage. I know you like cabbage. Put it on my tab. He said, I saw you looking at that cabbage. Put it on my tab. And then they offered to put things on my tab. So when they used to say in order to make friends, you have to first show yourself friendly. That's what we learned in church. So you make relationships, establish relationships. Sometimes you can get things on credit. Other people will pay for things. And now, or you give them a gift. You give them a gift of silver, constitutional silver or junk silver. That's a silver coin minted before 1965. You give them, something, a gold Arum note. That's an opportunity. And if they don't want to take it for goods, give it to them as a tip. Give somebody constitutional coin or coin, bullion, or gold Arum note that only costs $10 to get a half a gold Arum note, which is like $5, and tip them with that. And so when they ask, what is this? You teach them, you educate them. This is lawful money according to the Article 1, Section 10 of the Constitution. The only thing that can be used to pay off debt is money, or according to our lawful money. I know we use these dollars right here, but according to the Constitution, only silver and gold is real money. So I want to teach you I want you to have this gift so you can have real gold and silver. It's an opportunity. And then you just expand from there. That was a great question. Thank you. That was a great question. You guys, some of you say you think the war is fake too? Yes, some people were paying things forward during the pandemic. I agree. Many people are disingenuous and looking for a come up when you have a pure heart. Yep. I had to step away from trying to help people. You know what? You could also help people to help themselves. You give a man a fish, you give him food for a day. You teach a man to fish, you give him food for a lifetime. Because so you do have to be mindful and wise about who you help. But sometimes you give and give up from yourself, and you give so much that there's nothing left for yourself. So what you do is you just be a little wise. You tell yourself, this is the amount I'm going to give. So when you're doing your budget, this is the amount of money I'm going to give for per month. And once it's given, that's it. It's 10%. That might be your tithe. I'm going to give 10% of my earnings for every month, or whatever, every couple of months. I'm going to give this amount of my time, my energy, my money, or whatever. And then once it's over, you don't give any more. I hear what you're saying. A lot of people are disingenuous, and a lot of people are genuine at the same time. You're right. You believe that the war is staged. All right. Yeah, by telling everybody there's a war, creating these storms through the programs that they have. You can get people to stop flying. We'll hope they don't start igniting those sleeper cells, because they might do that in order for us to pull our children out of schools. Chief Rod Hayes told us about that. He was like, they're going to start waking up those sleeper cells, and they did too. They did, where they started activating certain people, and they running into different places, shooting up folk. A lot of things they're allowing to happen so that we can be still and stop and take our children out of their schools and stop participating in the economy and not in the economy, but stop participating, buying from some of these corporations and some of these companies. Oh, I know what I was doing, family. On that show I was doing with Dex Lattimore, I said I was going to stop and pause, and you might have seen me say I'm going to take some products. So somebody had asked me about the products that I'm taking. This is organic raw or not, it's raw organic wild oregano with black seed oil. This is a good parasite cleanse right here. Once you take drops of that per day, and then I got this from Holistic. This is one of my sponsors of the show. You could take it with, because it's going to clean the parasites out of your body, and all those parasites that's causing infections and intestinal issues and viruses. You can actually get rid of them by taking this, and then you could take that's the activated charcoal to unalive the eggs. So you can kill the parasites with this, the black seed oil and oregano, or with this, the oil of oregano. And I also have one that's just black seed. And then after a couple hours after that, you take the activated charcoal, because activated charcoal would then kill the babies, the eggs. I got that from Holistic. Where is it? Holistic.shop, I think it was. And I also have, is it Holistic? Wait, I'm having problems finding it. I don't see it. For some reason, I can't find that website. Let me see if I can find it in my banners over here. Because one of our Soul Tribe members was severely ill. And I got word from the owner of the shop that she went back to her doctors and she was like, I don't want to say completely cured, but because I want her to tell her testimony, but the issues that she was having, they were going away quickly. So she had some type of issue and it started shrinking. Where is it? I don't see where I got the products from, but she was so grateful that she kept getting some of the products, and then she even sent a love offering to me. Simply Holistic. She sent me a love offering because I introduced her to the products. Simply Holistic. Let's see. I don't know why I can't find it. I'm going to have to ask him, does he still have the, here it is. Yeah, he still has the website, because some of the Soul family came on under several podcasts and said that these products were very, very good. So here, I also got some raw honey, and then I got some Manuka honey with black seed oil, and I also got Manuka honey with dark chocolate. Oh my God, it's so good. So good. Organic chocolate. Here it is. Pure wellness. Black seed oil, raw Manuka honey, Shilajit, more raw honey. They have sea moss, and they have blueberry. Blueberry sea moss and mango flavored sea moss, and it's real fruit mixed with it. So delicious. So if you're interested, family, please go ahead and give the owner a shout. He's going to come on. He's one of the gentlemen that owns a med bed here in Jacksonville, Florida. I can't say too much more, because when he opens up his shop, he's going to come on to the show and speak about all the services he'll be providing. If you scroll all the way down there, you'll see that they have secure payment where you can order right online. You can call them at 904-800-9028. And they do have an office. I didn't go this week. I usually go every week, but he's opening up a larger facility so that he can do some serious work with the Soul family on some of this suppressed technology. I'm so excited. Let me go ahead and put that in the chat for you, that link. It sounds good. I sent yes, I sent them your email, sis. I'll send it again. I talked to her husband because she wasn't available. Okay, so that was 23 Archer. Thank you, Sister Janine. I will send him another email. 23 Archer said there's a supply of water in your water heater. Thank you for that. Thank you. Please hit the like button, family. So if you run, you might find yourself running out of water. Just know you got a supply in your water heater. I need to do a show for the membership group, and I'll do my best to do that tomorrow morning. I wasn't feeling well this weekend. I think I was just tired. It's not that I was sick. I was tired. But anybody that wants to join a private membership group where we talk about things that we don't talk about in the public. We talk about banking protocols for the banks. We talk about just different investment opportunities. Don't tell people what to do. We just share information. Then you can follow the prompts on any of my videos that say join, or you can click on that link that I just put in the comment section. But on tomorrow, I am going to be on the House of Reawakening Minds with Dr. G. You know that show online with Dr. G and the Grand Sheik of the Moors, Grand Sheik Taj Tariq Bey. They're very close friends. So they usually do shows on the House of Reawakening Minds on YouTube. Tomorrow's her solar return. I mean, you know, it's her birthday. So I and some other sisters, some other ladies are going to be on the show with her. So she wanted me to make sure I shared that news that we're going to be together tomorrow. Oh, let me see if I can find that link for you. So you go to YouTube, and it's called the Official House of Reawakening Minds. Let me see. It just came up. I'm not sure what all we're going to talk about. I'm sure we're going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk too much about politics. We're going to just talk about what's going on in the world as it relates to the benefit of the soul tribe. We're not going to give any bad news. We're just going to be chatting it up as ladies, having a conversation and celebrating Dr. G's 71st solar return. Let me go ahead and click on that for you. It'll be, I think she said it's going to be 4 women on the show. And again, for those just checking in, Dr. G is a great friend of Grand Sheik Taj Tariq Bey, the Grand Sheik of the Moors. They do shows typically together on the Official House of Reawakening Minds. And this show is called Dr. G and Her Sisters Conversate and Celebrate Her 71st Solar Return. So let me put that link in the chat for you all. I want to put that on my social media accounts as well. And that's it for tonight, family. I just wanted to come on and tell you that a lot of people have forgotten that we are in the middle or in the midst of a government shutdown. And the government shutdown is going to affect different areas of our lives. It's going to affect the land through transportation. It's going to affect the air through transportation and flights. It's going to affect the water safety, food and goods and services being transported through the land, air, and water, the trucking industry. And that could symbolize really law, land, air, water, how we're moving from maritime law to the laws of the land. But I wanted to show you that we're not talking about the government shutdown, but that doesn't mean it's not occurring. That doesn't mean things won't continue to escalate. When I mean like higher inflation, like a slowdown in the supply chain of food. What else? Jobs. People are being laid off. We got a lot of homeless people now, people in their cars, people that don't have a job, people that work for the government and for corporations that are being laid off or working for no money. The reason why I'm reporting on this information is for us to be armed so we can be proactive. How are we going to take care of ourselves? How are we going to prepare? Because by the time it gets so bad that, you know, people start rushing to the grocery stores, then the grocery stores might start, I don't want to say going to run out of food, but they might run out of stuff. So we got to be prepared. Prepare, family. Prepare your hearts, prepare your minds to help yourselves, your family, and your community. Some people used to say all the time, we all we got, because the deep state don't like us. The government, they haven't been helping us. You have some government programs here and there. I'm not going to say they never helped us, but I'm saying overall, it's not their job. It's not their responsibility to take care of us. So let's go ahead and figure out a way to clean our water. Let's go get some seeds. Let me look at the Meta Center Chicago, because they have heirloom seeds. They have monoatomic gold. That's gold you can take. Colloidal gold, colloidal silver. If you have low iron, you might consider, or a virus, you might take some of those products. Let's see what else. What else do they have? Do you all remember the Meta Center where Delbert Blair, Dr. Delbert Blair, who was a master metaphysician, he used to actually talk to us about diodes and metals, things we need to put on our bodies and under our mattresses and in our cars, as the car is vibrating and affecting people's genitals and their ability to produce and slowing down their production activity. He would talk to us about products you can take. I'll put the link in the chat. Seeds you can buy. At one point, his wife used to work with somebody that would teach you how to clean your water before his wife transitioned. So let's see what they have at the Meta Center. I don't know if I still have a code there, but you can try it when you check out. It was DR 2024. That was my code. No, DRKIA 2024, Dr. Kia 2024. See if it still works. Where is that? Let me see where the products are. That's the Meta Center Chicago. World-renowned Dr. Delbert Blair. They're still here serving the community. He's passed on, but Dr. Tony Vortex was his protege. He's still there. They have what is that? Aeroponics, grow food in limited spaces. They'll teach you how to do that. Behavioral analysis. They do. He's also a minister and a certified minister and counselor, Dr. Tony Vortex. So he does counseling services. He has different programs. They're doing a prostate study right now. And I don't see this. This is about the things that they're doing. Heirloom seeds. See? Yep. Coupons, honey, services for stress. And here's a list of all their products. That's metacenterchicago.com. Thank you so much for the Cash App blessing. Thank you guys for all of you that are supporting me and sending me a monetary blessing. I really appreciate you. I'm very, very grateful for you. Let's see. Thank you for anybody that still wants to send some. Thank you so much. At $ Mama Kia 13, MAMAKIA 13. Thank you. Sister Shantae, thank you so much. She says it's a love gift. I appreciate you. Sister Cleopatra, thank you. Sister Angela Smith, thank you for the gift, for the Cash App donation. Chief Mac of the Soul Tribe, thank you so much. Thank you all for all the gifts and the Cash Apps. What? Let me look at some of these comments. Hi, Mary. Mary said gas in Ireland is $8 a gallon. You know, the correlation between oil and gold is peculiar. It's interesting because what my daughter pointed out and she noted is that whenever you see the gas prices go up, gold and silver prices go down. So I thought that was a very interesting correlation because it really shouldn't be like that. So I would say that the oil prices are probably being affected by the so-called war. What else? Tariffs. And what else? What else would they be? Why would they have, gas prices? So I can't make it a reason for the things that they do. I can't even make it make sense. Gas here is, and I was just telling my son, I was like, oh my God, gas was $4 at this one pump. It was $3.99, and you're saying $8? That's wild. Speaking about the correlation between gas and oil, gas prices that are going to be spiked because of oil. What's going on with the oil? What is the gold and silver? What are the gold and silver prices looking like? Let me see. They had gone down. Silver had gone down to $79 when I woke up this morning, and gold was just at 5,000. Let me see if I can find out what's going on. So yeah, it's interesting that as the gas price is up, gold is down because it's supposed to be a reverse of that. Let me show you what I've discovered when I was studying the correlation, if there was a correlation between gas and precious metals. Rising oil prices generally push gold prices higher by driving up inflation, which increases the demand for gold as a hedge. So typically when you see rising oil prices, people would say, they're just going to drive up inflation. It was going to drive up prices. So I'm going to save my money by putting it into gold. Rising energy costs also create geopolitical uncertainty and higher production costs, boosting gold safe haven appeal. However, if high oil prices lead to higher interest rates, then gold may decline. So what's happening then is with the higher oil prices, the investors are anticipating a higher interest rate. And that's causing, okay, I get it now. So when the rising oil prices usually means that it will push the gold up. Because they would increase the demand for gold as a hedge. People would be like, okay, well, right, inflation is going to devalue the dollar. So I need to put my dollar that's devaluing into precious metals because precious metals typically hold or maintain their value. That's what typically happens. Rising energy costs also create geopolitical uncertainty and higher production costs, boosting gold's safe haven appeal. That's what we just said. However, if high oil prices lead to high interest rates. So I don't know what would cause the high oil price to lead to high interest rates, but that's what we see happening. And that's why gold may decline according to this. I read an article that actually said when investors see high oil prices happen, they anticipate higher interest rates, because there could be other factors that could be contribute to that. Then the gold prices or their desire for gold would decline, because with the higher interest rates, they say the dollar becomes stronger. But what I think is really happening is that, like the article said in the beginning, gold price, the precious metals prices should be increasing, but you have people in power that are suppressing the silver and gold prices. They're suppressing or holding down. All they got to do is flip a switch. All they got to do is just whatever their hand is on, that lever that they're holding it down, and just move their hand, because it's all this stuff is automated, but they're suppressing or keeping the prices of gold and silver down because they don't want people to know, number one, that gold and silver is lawful money. Number two, that the fiat dollar is completely collapsing. And three, they don't want everybody trying to rush into the gold and silver space yet. Because what we see happening, y'all let me know what you think about this in the comment section, is a slow rollout. It's a slow decimation of the system, slow dismantling of the system, little by little by little, and then all at once. Slowly, and then it's just going to all collapse, crash. And as the old system is coming down, the 3D reality is collapsing, gold and silver is going to rise, and a new reality is going to rise. So this is going to go down, this is going to go up. In the meantime, you keep people distracted by talking about war. You have AI generated stuff. Some may be real, some might be fake. You have shootings. You have sleeper cells being deactivated. You have the government shutdown. You start reducing spending, cutting off programs. You blame it on the Democrats, but really it's not the Democrats' fault. It's the fact that the whole world's been enslaved by the deep state, by the United States Incorporated. But they're going to be pointing fingers at each other, and they're going to be saying, look over here while we do this over there. But if we keep ourselves emotionally grounded and we look for the information, we'll find out a way where we can survive, even in the middle of chaos. Everybody else can be living in 3D, and we can be living in 5D. I'm serious. I'm so serious. We can be living in some of us are already living in a whole new reality where the war, of course it affects us. It affects us at the gas pump, but I'm saying it's like we don't sit and watch it all day, because it doesn't benefit the psyche to sit and watch bombs all day. For some of us who have missions to accomplish, goals to achieve, visions to realize. But while all this is happening, we can prepare ourselves as a soul family, a soul tribe, and make sure we're okay. Dr. Yaki Awaken teaches that too. Okay, let me see what you're saying. Nobody of knowledge says, get a bag of soil and some planting pots, okay? One potato can reproduce a bundle of potatoes. Thank you. Grab rice and grains. Gather water and learn how to clean the water. Arm yourselves to protect your families. Thank you so very much, Nobody of knowledge. That was excellent. Holistic health remedies are good. Thank you. Watch out for certified stage actors. Yes. Oh, butchers in the hospitals. Ooh, so be careful, family. Be mindful where you go for your treatments. Spread love and stay positive. You will draw positive people onto you. I love that. Thank you, Earth Angel. And Sister Janine says, thank you for supporting our beautiful doctor family. You guys are appreciated. Yes, you are appreciated. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting and loving each other and for giving all this information. Gas is almost $4 in Maryland and DC. Wow. Wow. Okay, gold is 5,000 and silver is 80. Thank you. Let me see if I can find the gold. I'll find it online too. So whenever you see a dip, that's an opportunity to buy. If it's in your budget, and if it's not, it's okay. Because we're all going to be all right. We have Nasara and Jasara rolling out. We have those, what do you call it? The funds in January 2025. So trade deals from brokering deals with other nations, trade deals, rare earth minerals, precious metals, stocks, bonds, and oil, and some of the other land, water, some of the other resources. All the wealth from that is put into a sovereign wealth fund, and he earmarked those funds for the people, for the infrastructure, and for investments. So we're going to be okay. But we're not waiting for the government. We're not waiting for our funds to be released or for our birth certificate bonds to be released. They are going to be released. In the meantime, we can work together to help each other survive. But the gold price is right now $5,024. Silver is $81.33. Platinum is $2,129. Palladium is $1,633. And I got that from appnext.com. Thank you for telling me what the prices are. Yeah, they're spreading fear, Earth Angel. I agree. So if we don't pay attention to them, it won't be a part of our timeline. We're not watching it. It won't pop up on our For You pages. It won't affect our paradigm or our reality, because they want to spread fear. The people in power, the beings in power. When you are fearful or worried, stressed out, you emit a psychic energy called loosh, Loosh. And the entities that were, the powers that were, would eat and absorb that loosh. And when you're confused, upset, fearful, afraid, all that, you can be easily controlled. And your mind is not focused on the vision. Your mind is not focused on saving your family. But our mind is focused on saving humanity, is focused on reclaiming our wealth, is focused on breaking generational curses and restoring values and love, truth, peace, and freedom in the family, the community, and society at large. We're too busy to let them distract us. We got to stay focused. That's right. I love you too. Thank you. Oil is the blood of the planet. We don't need it. Ooh-wee. I heard that. You agree? You completely agree? People are living in 3D. Yeah. And some people are living in 5D. Right. Some people want to choose to live outside the realm of what we're creating, the beautiful reality. That's their choice. We're going to keep focused. You've been saving your lemon seeds and avocado pits. Ooh, you're going to grow some new ones? Don't trip, family. That's right. Stay focused. Dip it, don't skip it. Y'all funny. The Rodriguez funds, they're still going to be. I just talked to Princess Elizabeth. She said she's going to come back on, so I need to call her and schedule a time. It's still earmarked for humanity. Thank you for asking that question. That will inspire me to go and call her and ask her when she want to do the show, because I just talked to her about 3 days ago. Atlanta, Georgia's in the house. Yeah, we don't have to. Don't confuse people. If you don't know how to talk to them about what's going on, you could just share it with the ones who are, who are awake, or the ones who will receive the information. Because some people just, it's hard for them. If you want to do paperwork, do you have to do the paperwork to exchange our status to get the trust, or does it happen automatically with the QFS? Well, if the Republic is being restored and the United States Incorporated is being dismantled, under the Republic, we're all sovereign. However, if you want to change your status, then I don't see the problem in doing that. But they say better to be safe than sorry, better to have too much than not enough. So, but I don't do status corrections. Like I'm not the one that actually helps people with that. Some of you know that some of you asked I see the Duke of Tears about that when he was on the show before. Maybe we can bring him back on at some point. But if you were to leave an email address and you're interested in that, I will get it to him. But the Republic is being restored, so I'm not really sure about the status correction. I'm not going to speak for or against it, only because I don't do the paperwork. Like I haven't helped anybody do it. And even if I would do something for myself, I wouldn't tell somebody what they had to do, You're welcome. I should do another show with Princess Elizabeth. I will, Inner World. I will. You're welcome. Gas is darn near $5 in Chicago. Wow. For status correction, go to where, HD Flower? Thank you for sharing that information. I think you're going to tell us where to go for anybody that wants the information. Divine Queen says, please, everyone, listen to music by Curtis Mayfield. He sings of family, unity, and love. That's awesome. That will bring our vibrations up, make us happy and joyful. Peace, love, and light to you too. Oh, that's Rebirth with Latanya. Hey, Sister Latanya. Hey, Sister Latanya, you want to come on? You got something you want to talk, Sister Latanya? I'll send you a link. We have to have Sister Latanya on the show because she does healing work for women. And we know that the era into which we're going, we need to be healed so we can help heal other people. She does powerful work, life coaching work, breath work, I believe, too, womb cleansing, deep healing for women. I don't know if it's for men too, but I know for women. So I'm gonna have to email her. Peace, love, and light, Sister Latanya. And I'm gonna have to email you so you can come on sometime in the very near future. And I put a link in the chat. Some people are saying, yes, we need her. Absolutely. I put a link in the chat if you want to come on. Doctor, your hair is beautiful today. Thank you, NGAC. Thank you. Because it's different. I was like, that's a little different from what I usually do, but it's all mine. Thank you. That was so sweet. Sister Janine is saying, yes, we need to have Sister Latanya. Yes, I've listened to, speaking of, yes, I have listened to Anna Von Wright. Okay. She said, Sister Latanya, Rebirth Latanya said she's getting ready for another session, but anytime she will come on the show for us. Yay! I have listened. Thank you, sister. Yes, I've listened to Anna Von Wright. Yes, I've read her works. Yes, I've been a fan of hers for many years. She's a sovereign judge. She is critical in helping to restore the Republic. And Dr. G, the show that Dr. G is doing tomorrow for her birthday, for a solar return, will have somebody on the show with us that works with Anna Von Wright. So I'm really excited. In fact, I'm gonna get off here so I'm supposed to be talking to Dr. G tonight. She wants me to meet somebody. I don't know if it's that sister or not, but if you have a chance on tomorrow, let me go to the House of Reawakening Minds. I'm gonna be on the House of Reawakening Minds with Dr. G, some other ladies, and one of the ladies who works with Judge Anna Von Wright. So that show will be tomorrow at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Gillum used to be a minister, and I'm sure she still has her own ministry, but she's no longer the pastor of a church. And she's the best friend, a great friend of Taj Tariq Bey, the Sheikh of the Moors. They do shows together on the House of the Reawakening Minds, but we'll be on the show together with some of her other friends, just having a chit chat, just talking, having a conversation. And we're going to meet one of the sisters that work with Judge Anna Von Wright. So please join us tomorrow at 8:00. That's Tuesday. That'll be March 17th. Happy 17th. I'm going to put that in the chat for you. So that's about it, family. I'm going to get off here. Thank you all so much for joining us. Let's see if you have anything else to say. Any questions? Oh, yes, the matriarch. That's right. I didn't even think about that. The matriarch will be speaking and sharing tomorrow. Sister Latanya says the matriarch is our way to understanding our role, rights, and more. That's what we're going to get her to talk about. Unless God moves on her heart to say something else. I love that, Sister Latanya. Yes. Or I'm sorry, Dr. Latanya. Thank you, Spirit. Excuse me. She is Dr. Latanya. I love that. Yes, tomorrow is Dr. G's birthday. Yes. Hit the like button, please, family. Thank you, Sister Janine. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. Thank you, Sister Anna, Sister Angela. Anna has been talking about sound money. Great. Oh, that's so good. I love you back, family. All right. Are all hearts and minds clear? Any questions? The wealth process. How do you reach me about the wealth process? I'm not sure what you mean about the wealth process. Do you mean about foreign currencies? Are you talking about gold and silver? Because we do shows about gold. You can look on any of my videos about NESARA, National Economic Security Reformation Act. Look at my videos. Go to my channel and type in gold and silver. You can go to my channel. You can join a private. If you join a private group, we can have a personal discussion. The private group, I think I put that in the chat. We can have, because I don't do consultations. Chief Mac does consultations. I don't do consultations, but I do talk to a private group. The private group is the Silver Soul Tribe. Let me see if I can find that. But if you desire to do a consultation with Chief Mac, you can reach him at unityinmotion45@yahoo.com. But tell me specifically what it is you desire to know about, please, and I can see if I can answer something right now. I don't want to leave you out there with no solution. Let me see. Here's Chief Mac. So here's to join if you want to join the Soul Tribe Silver Group here, or you can just hit one of the join button on any of the videos and follow the prompts. But Chief Mac, let me give you his Chief Mac. The reason why I don't do consultations is because I'm doing a lot. Like I have several businesses that I'm doing, I'm running, and small businesses, and I'm also homeschooling my grandchildren. So I'm so busy. I want to be able to give you my undivided attention, but I'm just so busy right now. So Chief Mac, thank you so much, Sister Janine. Does consultations. That I appreciate you. You're awesome. At unityinmotion45@yahoo.com. I've heard of Sky Prince. Yes, I have. Gold Star Mother Susan Price told me about Sky Prince. Dave XRP was cooking. Yes, he was. You're welcome. Oh, part 1 and part 2 of the video that I spoke of. Let me show you how to survive this economy. Okay, you go to my channel here, or if you might be checking in from another platform. My handle is at Dr. Kia Pruitt Official, but you go to the channel and let me see. Let's see where it is. All right. You go to the live section. That was a great question. I'm so glad you were able to get your trust. That's awesome, Original Turtle Island. Okay, get that book for your grandbabies. I will. I also wrote a book, sis. I also wrote a book about wealth preservation, but I will get that book as well. Thank you. That's awesome. That looks so good. I'll get it for the grandbabies. You know, I had to write one for the Soul Tribe, but my grandchildren, they've been a part of the writing process, being with me while I wrote it, while I've been working, while I worked on it. I'll do that, Sister Janine. So if you go to my YouTube channel, here are the two parts: how to make it in this peculiar economy, part 1, how to make it in this harsh economy, part 2. I'm going to make it all say how to make it in this harsh economy. But this is me right here. This is what it looked like. And that was streamed 4 days ago. There's a part 1 and part 2. I talk about how to clean up your credit, what to do to get, if you owe student loans, how to put them in deferment or forbearance or get an income-driven low payment plan. I talk about how to barter, how to establish relationships with your local merchants, just all types of things you can do. How to increase your credit score. If we know we're going to do away with the credit system, but some people need an apartment or they need a house right away. A lot of things I talk about in these 2 videos right here on how to make it in this economy. So you don't even have to wait before Nasara and Jasara. So I hope you got to see that. The first one, how to make it in this economy, part 1. If you look at the thumbnail, it's just my eyes with the little symbol on my forehead. The second one, I forgot to put a thumbnail. It's just me with a flower. So you'll see that 4 days ago. I guess I could I'll put it in the chat for you. Officials are stepping down and corporate. Any more questions before I get off, family? That's so good, Sister Janine. Somebody said that in the chat too, that loans are being canceled and wiped out. People are getting letters about loans. That's NASARA, National Economic Security and Reformation Act. I know it seemed like some people are like that. That don't seem like that's doable, but it's happening, right? Okay, that was part 1 that I put in the chat. Now let me put part 2 in the chat. How to make it in this harsh economy. I'm getting tired. Oh, I was supposed to call Dr. G. Thank you. Thank you for the Cash App blessing. Mitchell. Is it Mitchell or Michelle? Thank you so much, Michelle. Michelle, I appreciate you for sending me a Cash App. That was so kind of you. Thank you. True information. I've been buying seeds for a while. You have lots of them? Wow. Okay. All right, family. Hello to you too. You thought they cut me off? No, I'm here. Gratitude. Gratitude to you too. Okay, March 23, Eric says, 2026, announcement on med beds and then globally rollouts on April the 2nd, officially. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Thank you. Chiming in from North Carolina. Hello, Sister Barbara. You remember? All right. All right, family. Do we have any questions, family? Anybody have anything? All hearts and minds clear? My name is Dr. Kia Pruitt. I'm so grateful that you all chimed in or checked in today. Thank you for all the information that you shared. Sister Arlene asked, Sister Kia, did you hear Trump sign executive order that was signed 14309? Pharmacia cartel has been deleted. No, I did not. Was that the pharmaceutical industry? You're new, but you absolutely love my content. Oh, thank you so much. And you appreciate it. Thank you. God bless you. I appreciate you. I appreciate all you are that support me and support the show. You're welcome, Sister Janine. I love you, girl. I am so grateful for you. I always say you make me relevant because I have information inside my heart and I have this mission and this desire to help liberate humanity. I feel like that's the reason why we're all here during this time. But without having someone to share the information with, I feel like I would be irrelevant. But you give me relevance. You help me. You provide information. You give me good energy and strength and love. And I pour into you. You pour into me. It's like, what do they say? It's an exchange of energy. We truly need each other to survive. Pharma. Okay. Pharma is unalive. I love that. You're welcome. William want to know, where are they canceling loans at? I had somebody from Cleveland, Ohio that told me his student loans were canceled. He came on a show last year and actually said that. But overall, I don't know where all, some people are saying their mortgages have been canceled. Some people are saying their student loan debt. So they must be doing a slow rollout. Oh, thank you. Brother Jerry said you're the greatest. I'm a reflection of you, and it's my honor to serve you and be your reflection. Bank of America and other banks are wiping out loans. Woo, come on through here, Sister Denise. Yes, we are like-minded. All right, family, I need to go. So I think I'm supposed to talk to Dr. G before tomorrow. We're going to do our show tomorrow at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the House of Reawakening Minds with the matriarch. I'm going to send Sister Latanya an email. I can't wait for her to tell you her credentials. She has a doctorate. She's worked with some very well-known life coaches. She's been on television shows, healing people, doing different type of therapy modalities. This woman is phenomenal. She does womb healing, womb cleansing, soul cleansing, teaches us how to take accountability and how to grow from victimhood, because a lot of us have been victimized. But she's going to talk about whatever God puts on her heart and about the matriarchy as well, because the women are teaching the children. We're giving birth to humanity. We are the portal and the gateway, bringing in new souls. So we have to be whole. The Bible says, "Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect." Perfection, when you eisegete and exegete the word, when you break down the word and you look at the etymology and the origin of the word and the context in which it was spoken, within the culture that it was spoken, in that context, perfection means whole. Be ye therefore perfect, for I am perfect, or even as your Father in heaven is perfect, means be ye whole and complete. The women have to be, and the men, but we're talking about the ones that are bringing in the life. We got to be complete. We got to be whole. We have to make sure our vibrations are whole. We're just thriving on high vibrations, thriving on joy, having a clean heart, having a heart that's balanced, a heart that's light as a feather, because we're raising the babies, we're teaching the babies, we're supporting the husbands. The inheritance and heritance in the old ways, the ancient ways, was passed down through the woman. So the woman has to be a great representation and full expression of God. So it's good to know that, that we have a father God, right? Father God, Father Abraham, masculine disciples. That's beautiful. We also need, in addition to that, to make sure everything's balanced, that the women have archetypes, that the women have expressions of God or goddess, that the women understand and understand that they are a full expression of God ourselves, because we're divine, just like the masculine is divine. It's just that so often in the world in which we've been living with war and violence and taking and stealing and theft and all this, we have not had peace. We have not had the expression of the divine feminine. And we are going to insert that into the environment and into this reality that we're creating as a soul tribe by first inviting Dr. LaTanya on the show. And I want to talk to Dr. G to see if we can have her on the show, and Princess Elizabeth. And we'll see if we can get Gold Star Mother Susan Price. I think that's a great lineup. Those 4 powerhouse of women, and any other women that want to come on the show, please let me know. You can put it in the comments. We've had Sister Selena on the show. Sister Selena Cordoba L. That's our brother Ashir, Sheikh Asir, Duke of Tears, his wife, Sister Selena. She has products for hair, skin, and nails. And now that I'm doing certain things with my hair, now I need to contact her to help my hair grow. I've had to cut it, or I've chosen to cut it. But she has organic products. We've had her on. She has Cordoba Organics for products for hair, skin, and nails. And I think she said at some point, because somebody asked her, is she going to have supplements at some point, and she's going to look into that. But go to Cordoba Organics. Is that it? Because that's Sheikh Asir, Duke of Tears products with his wife, Cordoba Organics. I can't find that website. Sister Janine, I'm going to contact her again to ask her if she got your email. Okay, I see her on Instagram, Cordoba Organics. It should be just Cordoba Organics.com, maybe. I'm trying to find her products, because we want to promote the divine feminine, like we've been promoting the men, Chief Mac, Sheikh Moadib L, Sheikh Jacob L, Asir the Duke of Tears, Dave XRP Lion. We've had Mel Carmine on the show before. We've had Chris Marcus. We've had Andy Sheckman. I call him the gold guru. We had a lot of our divine masculine. We've had the Adept Moore here. We've had Coach Bay. Coach Bay is the Adept Moore. We've had Chef Yosef here. We've had a lot of our masculine brothers, divine masculine brothers here, but we want to also invite some of our sisters. So Cordoba Organics here. They 100% pure ingredients, crystal infused therapy, jewelry, essential oils. I mean, all kind of stuff. Hair care, face care, body care. She got stuff for nails. Just a whole lot of products, family. But I said I was going to get out of here, so I'm about to go. Any questions before we go? Jamaican castor oil is great. Oh, for my hair? Thank you. Thank you. I will, sister. I will connect you to her. Yes, we had Asir Dukatia. We had Jacob A. We had some great teachers amongst us. Brother Rod Hayes, Chief Rod Hayes. What did Sister Barbara say? I do admire all my soul family and soul tribe. Grand rising, wealth, health rising, love rising, and much more. Ooh, I love that. Yes. All right, family. Thank you so much. What'd you say, sister? Oh, castor oil. Is that for hair? Oh, I got to get Juan O'Savin on the show. Okay, that would be interesting. All right, Soul Tribe. Yeah, I've had Mel Karma. I'll call him. Oh, he knows Juan O'Savin. Okay. I haven't had Mel on for a while because once my channel got disconnected, I just kind of lost contact because he still send me messages on WhatsApp. So I just need to call him. Yep, hair and skin. Jamaica castor oil. And it's thick too, isn't it? Jamaican castor oil. All right, family. Are all hearts and minds clear? I'm still waiting in case you have questions. Oh, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for your comments and your questions. Please look at the videos. If you don't know what to look at, you can always go to the search engine, a little search thing, little magnifying glass on my YouTube channel. Type in certain words like Nesara, Nesara, Gesara, Gesara, gold, silver, global currency reset, RV, revaluation of currencies. And you might put in certain countries, Zimbabwe, Vietnam, China, Indonesia, India. Well, who else? What are some key? Venezuela. Just thinking about some keywords you could put in to get some information. Okay. All clear there? Oh, you're in. Good. Because the other night, was it last night? Okay, I will. I'll play your favorite song. Last night, I kept saying, I'm going to go. My sister friend from my hometown, she kept saying, go home, get some rest, go eat, because I hadn't eaten all day. Then finally, I had been on for 3 hours. She said, get your A blank in the house right now. I was like, okay, I got to go, y'all. Because when your big sister speaks, you got to listen. That's it, family. I hope I've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. One day we should get Sister Janine, our moderator, to come on. She is so juicy, so full of life, so full of joy. She's wonderful. Got a lot of information. I just love her. She's been a part of our Soul Tribe for many years and a moderator. I think she said going on 5 years. We got to get her on today. So a brother on our Soul Tribe, Brother Kenneth, actually, he arranged for that and he created my theme song for the Soul Tribe, or our theme song for the Soul Tribe. All right, family, I love you. I'm in the back office. I'm going to turn off the camera, but I'm still here looking at your comments in case somebody has a question. I'll answer it in the chat, or if I need to come back on, I will. Peace, pleasant dreams. I love you, and safe travels in your dreams too.
Shining wisdom's light, teaching soul tribe how to see through the night. Ancient scriptures and bloodlines she knows, spreading truth wherever she goes. Soul tribe Kia shows
Please say a prayer for Chief Mack as he recently buried his aunt. She was the last female sibling of his mom. So he's doing well. We just saw him. He did a show with me the other night. We'll say a prayer for him because mourning is very hard. If you want to do a consultation with Chief Mack, email him at unityemotion45@yahoo.com to send him a gift or a donation for a consultation fee. You can send, I think he said he did say the consultation fee is $75. $Allen Judah. $Allen ALLENJUDAH.
Free themselves. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. From currencies to investments divine, she's helping her tribe to realign with wisdom, ancient and new, showing what we all can do. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia shows the way to a brighter, freer day. Soul tribe rising, hear her call, raising vibrations for one and all. Dr. Kia lights the way to a new and brighter day.
Good night, Soul Tribe. Remember, on tomorrow at 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be on the show with Dr. G at the official house of Reawakening Minds, and she will have a few other sisters as guests to celebrate her during her solar return. She will be 71 years old tomorrow. That is the best friend, a great friend of our Grand Sheikh Taj Tariq Bey. So tomorrow, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, join us. Someone in the group comment section had asked me if I followed Anna Von Wright's work. And yes, I do follow Judge Anna Von Wright's work. As such, there is a woman who has done work or is doing work with Judge Anna Von Wright, who will be on the show with Dr. G and some of her girlfriends and me, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So there's the link. You could just go to the House of Reawakening Minds. I'll make sure I put up information to announce that as well on tomorrow to remind you. And remember, we're going to have Dr. LaTanya, what's her name? LaTanya Taylor. She'll be on. She has worked with some very important life coaches. I'm talking about life coaches that were on #1 shows on television to help heal women. Dr. LaTanya, I'm going to talk to her, send her an email. We're going to send Dr. G an email so we can see when we can get her on. And Princess Elizabeth to talk about the Rodriguez Trust, the St. Germain Trust, the King Solomon Trust. You're welcome, Brotherhood. It's so good to see you, Tony Hood. I love you. And some of the other trusts that will fund humanity. You all are amazing. I love you so much. I appreciate you. And God knows I could not make it without you. You inspire me. Thank you so much. Good night, Soul Tribe. Bye-bye.